Okay. So I'm just gonna like share messages that have been coming through. One of them, oh, I'm the Bright Queen. I'm Jabria. I am Queen Sensitivity. I'm a person. So, hi. Welcome. That's the first thing I want to say. And now I'll get into the messages. So, one of the messages that was coming in was like, you want to live this way that you're wanting to live because you're meant to live that way. I have been reading, um, again. My reading had like dropped significantly after I had that huge life-changing experience in May. I used to read all the time because like it was like a way to like, kind of like escape my reality. Working a full-time job also like decreased it, but like my attention span for like things that I didn't feel were aligned like dropped significantly. So everything that I do consume is like very like intentional. And so right now I'm reading this book and I'm like, oh my God, I want this so bad. I want to live like this so bad, like on a farm and like get to like work with vegetables and like be knowledgeable about like agriculture and things like that, and like live in a town where like everybody like loves each other and like building community and stuff like that. And I was talking to Spirit about it, and or my guides, and they were like, you want that because like that is for you. And they were telling me like where to drive because like where I was, I've been there a lot of times, and they were like, go this specific way. And so I was like, okay, fine. And so I was talking to them driving, and they were telling me like it's meant for you. And I saw a little like is a statue or figurine like in, hey y'all, I saw like a little thing of like a deer in the yard, in one of the yards of the houses that I was passing by. And I was like, okay, but it's not real though. Like that was me being like sassy, like with Spirit, with my guides. And then I kept driving and I was like, oh shit, like they moved. And so like I thought it was like a fake little statue of fawns, I guess, think is what you call them, and deer, but it wasn't. Like they were real. I'll upload the video and like share it. I took a video. Um, yeah, I took a video. I was just reading the comments, and they were alive, and it was 3 baby ones. 3, I think they're called fawns, but I could be wrong. 3 baby ones, and there was 1 big one. I can't tell the difference between the males and females, but I'm pretty sure it was a male. All white-tailed deer. And at first the big one was like behind a tree, and so I could only see like the back part of it, and then it moved forward, and I saw like, I'm pretty sure they're called antlers. I don't know all the technical terms, y'all, so I'm gonna just call them what I'm gonna call them. But I could see like the antlers on there, and I just feel like that was important. Excuse me, it felt very masculine to me. And then they were like, go down this other road. Down that road I saw like a group of horses all feeding from like this one pile of hay. And then I drove further down the road, and this completely black cow came up, like it was like walking towards the fence as I was driving past it. So all these things I just took as like little nods from my guides. But yeah, I felt like this was important to share, because as I was thinking about this, I felt like Spirit was like dangling a carrot in my face, especially with this book. I'm like, this is everything I want. Like, why don't I have it yet? Like, why can't I have this kind of life yet? And so I was talking with them, and they were like, you have to like believe like that you can have it, that you deserve to live like the way that you're wanting to live. And I was talking about like to myself, to my guides, to Spirit, about like what I really what my ultimate goal is, or like what I really, really want. And it's always like community, like to have like close relationships with people, and like to be close with people, and not all this like fake shit that we do. And it reminded me of this experience that I had in May, or either like early June. But basically, I went out to a friend's birthday party, and this how you know it was a big shift in my life, because I didn't have no friends. I'm not even gonna play with you. I did not have no friends. Like, my friends are always like far away, so I never went out with anybody. And so major shift happened in my life. I got invited to one of my friends' birthday parties. It was at a bowling alley, and I went there, and I was like in this super like high vibe, because I had just watched, oh, thank you for the little hearts. I had watched this this video of this person speaking. It was super like high vibrational, and I'm like a huge like sponge when it comes to like other people's energy. And so I just sucked up everything this person was like giving out in their video. I watched it right before going into the bowling alley. And so I got in there, I was like super like in my little spiritual mode. And one of my friends, she showed up a little bit late, but she brought her best friend with her, who I'd never met. And it was a male, it was this guy. And every time I would say something, he would like say a little snarky comment. Like, oh my gosh, it sounds very, very loud in my ear. There's an angel near or something. Or somebody important is watching this. I can hear whoever it is that's watching. Hi, if I know you. But anyways, he would like say these little comments. I remember like commenting on like how I only eat fish. I don't eat meat. I'm pescatarian, non-dairy. I remember saying that because we were talking about like what to eat from the menu. And like he was like, I remember I tried that. I didn't last a week. Like he said like something like snarky about it. And then he said like something again. And at first, I think I did say something. I think I turned around and I was like, why you keep saying stuff like every time I say something? Like, why you keep like commenting on my comments or something? And I think he had just like was like shocked that I said that, and I just like let him be. And then he like walked away or something, and he was hanging out with my friend who was his best friend. And I remember thinking like I could either like accept this like surface level like vibe that he's giving, or I can use my little superpowers and like tap into like what's really going on. And I tapped into his energy, and I was like, like he has a lot of shit going on. And so I went to his best friend, my friend, and I was like, what's going on with him? And she was like, girl, he didn't have like a day. She was like, he's had a day. And I was like, can I talk to him? And she was like, yeah, let me go get him. And so she went and got him from like around a little corner. And they keep telling me to mention this. I don't know why this is important. Like, I guess it's important. I don't know why, but my intuition keeps interrupting. They're like, say this part, say this part. So the person, like this guy, we'll just call him Nick. That's not his name, but we'll call him Nick. He was very handsome. He actually like used to model like when he was a bit younger, but he has like these beautiful blue eyes, and like he looks very like Caribbean, like one of those like handsome island men. He had long like locks and like this chiseled jawline, blue eyes, the whole shebang. And I don't know, that was important, but I don't know why that's important for me to say. But he's very, very beautiful. But it wasn't for me. I don't know why I'm called to say this, but I wasn't interested in like anything like that. But I'm just mentioning that. Anyway, so she was like, let me go get him. She went over there and got him, and she was like, bro, she knows. That's what she told him. She was like, bro, she knows. And she was like, because my friend, she had like told him like all about me, how I'm like super intuitive. She really like hyped me up and like said all this cool shit about me to him. And she was like, she knows. She was like, she know you've been going through it. Like, go talk to her. And he came over to me and I looked him in his eyes and I was like, can I give you a hug? And he was like, yeah. And I just like crushed him in a hug, like gathered him and snatched him to my chest. And we hugged for like probably like 3-4 minutes. We really hugged each other. And keep in mind, I don't know him. That was my first time ever meeting him. And when I finally like pulled back, because he didn't want to let me go, probably because my energy is super healing and he was going through it. And he had tears in his eyes. And I was just like, oh my gosh. And so we sat there talking and he was just telling me like all the stuff he was going through in his life, everything that happened to him. And I was holding his hands. I was like, let me hold your hands. And I held his hands while he sat there and it was telling me about all the losses and hardship that happened in his life. It was so funny because one of my friends, and I've mentioned him before. Oh my God, I love my friend. He like walked behind the Nick who I was talking to. He like walked around behind him and he was like, like trying to see if like he was bothering me. And I was like, we're good, I'm okay. It's such a beautiful thing. I think this is why like they wanted me to remember this today when I was like feeling like I'm like not creating the reality that I want, because I do have people in my life that I love and that I really am so grateful and appreciative of them because I know I manifested them. And this was such a day. And my friend like walked by and he was like, you okay? I was like, yeah, I'm okay. And in my mind, I'm like, of course I'm okay. I don't know, I get like a bit arrogant sometimes when people are like, are you okay? Are you safe? Be safe. And I'm like, I'm always safe. I'm always safe. I have such a strong energy. Like even when I've like knowingly gone into danger, they told me beforehand, before I did my actions. Thank you for the thumbs up. But anyways, I promise you there's a point to me saying this. So after I finished talking with him and I was telling him, I was like, you need to like, what did I tell him? I was like, you need to do something. Like you have to like love yourself. I said something like that. Like you have to like really like focus on loving yourself and like forgiving yourself and letting this go. And he was like, I have. And I was like, no, you haven't. And he was like, I have. And I was like, no, you haven't. I was like, I can feel your energy. Like the energy don't lie. You have not forgiven yourself. You're not standing in love. That's okay. But you're not gonna sit here and tell me something that I can clearly see. We must have talked for like probably like 40 minutes to an hour. So after he got done, I turn around, my friends are like lined up and they're like, my next. And so one by one, everybody at the party comes up and they like sit with me on the little bowling stools. And they're telling me about like their lives and different issues, struggles in their lives, or asking me for advice. And it's 7:55. Am I called to share this? Yes. My friend, she doesn't mind about sharing this, and I'm not gonna tell her name or anything. But one of the first people I got after working with the guy Nick was my friend, and she was like come over here, like let me talk to you. And I was like, hold on. I was like, before you say anything, I was like, are you thinking about having a baby? And she was like, I'm pregnant. And I was like, ah! I got so excited. That was such a cool moment for me. Like I psychically picked up on her pregnancy. It was a wonderful moment. But like that happened all night. Like I didn't even get to like do the whole like party thing. I don't like bowling. I don't like playing games. So I was mostly there to eat the cauliflower boneless wings. So I wasn't planning to do that anyway. I don't like playing games. Unless like it's like something I know I can win, because I'm very competitive. But anyways, that just ended up being like the whole night was me like giving like counsel to people and like using my gifts to heal people and to work with people in this very, very intimate kind of way. And I thought that was going to continue, but I was crushed when it did not. But the point of me saying this and saying all of this is really that first like moment with the guy Nick, right? It's like I could have easily like taken the initial interactions I had with him and like let those lead the way, like how he was being snarky and he was like being kind of like toxically masculine, like putting down like my vulnerability when I would say things and kind of just like overstepping me. And instead of doing that, I embraced him, and that changed the whole thing. And I want to also make something like very, very clear, like his conversation with me, the conversation that we had didn't like drastically suddenly alter his life. I heard reports after from my friend that he's continued to struggle even after that and making choices that continued him struggling. Like he intentionally was choosing, well, maybe not intentionally, but like he still was going on struggling even after our conversation. And so I say this to say, like, you doing your part like may not look like you've like done anything after you've done the things that you've done, but don't doubt for a moment that like it didn't matter. Whew. I don't know if you can feel the energy of like what I'm saying now. This is very, very important, and this is why they wanted me to come on here to say this. You are seen, and the actions that you are taking matter. They add up. And if you're not like, just because you're not like seeing it like in your reality doesn't mean it's like it's not there. It is there, is what they're saying. Like, keep going and keep being a conscious creator. I had a meeting because they wanted me to talk about this too. I had a meeting at my job. It was about a pay raise. Don't get me started on that. Don't get me started. But anyways, it was about a pay raise. I got the pay raise, of course. But anyways, it was like two of my bosses that I was in this meeting with. And so like, it was like very structured. It was very like corporate kind of vibe. And it was so funny because they thought that I was going to be like scared about it. I'm like, no. I'm like, what y'all gonna do to me? Nothing. But anyways, it was just like a little joke. I loved like showing I'm a Leo, if you haven't caught on yet. But anyways, there was a point in the meeting where they were like asking me something about myself. They were asking me, I think, about like how I feel about like the environment at the job or something like that. And I was telling them like how I manifest like my day. Like I was telling them, I was like, I wanted like certain things to happen this week. So I planned it out like before, like the weekend before I went to work. I was like, I'm sick of like not wanting to go to work. So I'm going to change my experience at work to be relaxing and enjoyable. And so I did. I saw it in my mind. I was like, it's going to be a relaxing week. I don't have anything to worry about. I embodied that relaxation. And sure enough, the whole week, I barely did any work. Like there were 2 days where like I didn't have to do like any of my laptop computer stuff. Like I just got to like sit down in a chair and just relax. I got like to work with the certain clients that I wanted to work with. And I was telling them that, and I was like, every day when I arrive, I come here with intention. I was like, I usually have a goal for the day, and that's what I stick to, especially because every year around this time, from August to September, I usually have to do a lot of emotional clearing. I feel that it's ancestral, but I'm still getting to the bottom of that. But I have to do a lot of clearing, and so I've been like a very like emotional overload, things like that. And so like I had like very simple goals for myself. Every day I would be like, today all I want you to do is like to ask yourself what you need in the moment if you're feeling off, and then give yourself like fulfill that need. And like the next day I give myself a different like small achievable goal. And when I told them that, they were like, oh, like they were like so surprised by like my intentionality behind like every step of my life and how I was telling them basically that like I was in control of like my day. And it's crazy because these are the people that like make the schedules. They decide like who's coming, what extra little work needs to be done. But I was telling them that like their like choices that they made like on their own were like ones that I picked out. Isn't that so fucking crazy? Isn't that like mind-blowing to think that? I don't know. It sounds very cocky, I feel like, to the wrong audience, but I know what I'm talking about. And the reason I'm saying this is because I have been called arrogant before by people for speaking like this. But it's true. I'm like, I wanted specific things to happen, and they did happen. And they usually do. It happened yesterday. It was so fucking crazy how it happened yesterday. It was very quick. I manifested something. But yeah, I say all of this to say like, that's just another example of like how like me continuing to like live my life the way that I do with intentionality, consciously, feeling love into every single space of my existence every day as much as possible. It does make a difference. It does. I could see the look on their faces that I had like inspired them or given them like some sort of like little tip for life. And I feel like more than anything, like it connected us. Like we were no longer like these three different people in these roles. Like you're this person and this is your title and this is your title over here and I'm this and I'm this title. Like it all connected and grounded us as humans, because I was telling them how like I didn't mind feedback because I never want to get to a place where I feel like I know everything. And I never want to get to a place where I'm like disconnected from people and not open to hearing and having these conversations so I can grow. And they were like, yes, like the same here, same thing. And so we had this moment of just humanity amongst ourselves. And Spirit wants you to know, I want you to know that like those moments, look for like those moments are proof of like the work that you're doing and its impact. Such a small little thing. My throat, my voice. I always like used to tell people like, I don't know, I'm very like protective of people. And so like I get very upset sometimes at people about things like this. Like you never know, like some people, like one interaction with them like could make or break them. And I feel like we all know that. I can certainly attest to that, where like I was just having like a terrible time and I went to like a sandwich shop or something, and the employee who was making my sandwich was like telling me about like their favorite author, and it ended up being my favorite author. And like that little moment like made me feel connected when I felt so disconnected from people at that time. And so again, this is all to say, don't give up on love. Don't downplay its impact. It's there. You're making an impact. It's changing everything right now. Okay? I feel like there was something else I wanted to say, so give me a moment. Does anybody have anything they want to say? It's getting dark. I was trying to park real quick, because I always like get these messages like when I'm like, I guess, in a meditative state, and one of them is when I'm like driving. I think because of like going through certain areas, like the area that I was just in, like I don't know, I feel like I'm connected to it. Like it always like, I don't know, activates something in me. And so I had to like pull over real quick, and I was like, where's the light? Where's the light? I had to find like a place where there's like a light and like a signal, because it's about to get dark. And here we are in the dark. I'm just listening to like my guides and the messages. I'm just listening. They're saying things, but I'm like, I don't know if I want to say the things that they're saying. Okay. That's something else I wanted to say. Thank you. Just remembered. I'm trying to like get in the light so you can see my face. It's good. Basically today I was like looking up like the spiritual meaning of flies, and I came across this YouTuber that I strongly dislike. It was so funny because like I was at a time in my life where I was like, I guess more popular, like on in a certain way on YouTube and like Instagram. I don't have Instagram no more. Peace out to that shit. But yeah, I think I'm gonna say the name because I feel guided to, but it's this YouTuber named Raw Honey Bliss, and I was like, ooh, another black girl. And like she was like just now starting out on YouTube, and so I would reach out to her and I was like trying to connect with her and like coordinate with her and like work with her, because like I just said, I always want to like be close to people because I grew up feeling extremely lonely with my weird ass. So I'm always like, whenever I'm willing and I'm being brave, I do want to connect with people. And she was just very like standoffish. I could tell from her energy. She was like, I don't want anything to do with you. Like she'd say like kind-ish words, like on the surface they were very kind, but like I could just feel that she was like, I don't want anything to do with you. I'm gonna be this super successful spiritual guru and you're not the vibe. You're not welcome to the party. And I remember I still like would try to support her. Like I would still like try to share all her shit and like try to get people to like be interested in her and things like that. And I remember I left like a comment that was positive, in my opinion. I left a positive comment under one of her videos, and she commented something that was like very defensive, like she was triggered by me, which, you know, I've learned that I can trigger people. I've gotten much better at like knowing and managing dealing with that. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I triggered her. Anyways, I was looking up like spiritual meanings of the fly, and like she came up on the little shit with like a video about dragonflies, and it had like 18,000 views. And I was like, look, she got what she wanted. And anytime I would like come across like her content, it would be very like organized. It'd have like her name and like her ats, and then like her like services like listed out very clearly, and it's all very professional. It's all very well done. She came out in a very like persistent way, and she also in her video, she's also in this very like insistent, very strong, very potent, that's a word, very potent energy in all of her videos. She's speaking with so much confidence, or you know, we'll say potency. And I'm not like that at all. And I'm saying this for a reason. This is all like connected to something. I've mentioned before this woman named Ramona Lappin. I'm sure I've mentioned her several times, but I'm gonna mention her again because I remember people would like comment in her video in her comments, and she'd comment on their comments. They'd have like little suggestions in there for her, like maybe if she did this, or maybe if she started a podcast, or maybe if she got a website, then more people would like be willing to donate to her, and like she needed to like have better marketing schemes. And I remember her response to that was, I used to work in advertising. Like she said, I had a big corporate job where I would get flown out like to do ad work, like in PR shit. She was like, no shit, like I know I can do that. She was like, the point of my work is to instigate a new world order. She was like, I want to be a part of a new way of being, a better way of being, not even better, like a more connected, more genuine, more organic way of being. That's why I don't do that type of shit. And that's what I wanted to say about myself, because it's something that I've been like recognizing in every area of my life. I thought it was just this one, but I actually function like this in every area of my life. I don't like the performative aspect of like this like every Tuesday I'm going to drop this video, or I'm going to have consistent this and consistent that, and I'm going to plan these things out, and I'm going to make sure to have these certain edits, and I'm going to start doing this, and I'm going to start doing that. That is not for me. I am Jabria. I am the Bright Queen. I'm Queen Sensitivity. I even have 3 fucking names, for crying out loud. I feel like that's super bad marketing, especially my email account name is different from like this name on here. I am the way that I am because that is the way that I am. And I am here to be how I am. My energy, exactly how it is, as it's evolving and growing, is exactly as it needs to be. And so this message from me, for me, is also for you. If you have been standing in your integrity, if you have been showing up in the way that you know you are supposed to show up, and so this is connecting to the message that I had earlier, and you feel like you're not seeing the success, or other people are seeing the success, and they're like, I don't know, the way that they're doing it, that you know you could do it. This is the message for you. Like, we're not, or at least I'm not, but I'm gonna speak for us. We're not here to go with the fucking flow. We're here to be fucking disruptive. We're here to disrupt the flow. We're here to show that there is another way. There are other ways of being, because in fact this way is completely wrong, just to put things very simply. Completely wrong, completely unjust, or unjust. I never know which word to use. I need to start reading more. But like, we're here to disrupt the fucking like program. And so like, keep going and keep doing you, and never like, well, never, you know, it's okay if you do, but never never forsake the value of just you. Just you. I am the Bright Queen. I know why I'm the Bright Queen. I know why I chose that name. I know why I chose the name Queen Sensitivity. I feel like I even know why I chose the name Jabria. My name, I have my mother's middle name with like an extra A and an apostrophe. And I have my grandmother's middle name. I am here to undo so many curses of my family, my ancestral line, to free us all. Lord, have I been doing that shit? That shit is fucking hard. It's so hard, so much work. But I've been doing it. Like, I chose all of this with intention. Me trying to be somebody else or not like myself it's going completely against the reason that I came here. And this is something that I mentioned in my videos that are called This Is About Love, and how I was talking about like forgiveness, and how like the way that I've been able to forgive people is not in the way that people talk about forgiving people. The way that I have done it was I viewed it through my own purpose for being here, which is to love. And like I said, to establish a new order, or to return us home, but like in newness. And I was like, me holding grudges and me being angry goes against my work and my point, my purpose for being here. And I don't deserve to like suffer, to be quite fucking honest. I don't deserve to suffer. So me holding on to all these energies, these negative heavy energies, and blocking the love that people that I was upset with were trying to give me, is not serving my point of being here, the work that I'm doing here. I can give this example because I feel like it helped my friend when I told her this. And this is the same friend who brought the guy Nick, where that's not his name, to the bowling alley. But I remember I told her this. So yesterday, my mother, she went to like this party. My mother rarely ever goes out as well. I learned from the best. But she went to this party and she was like, oh, there's someone here that like I think you'll like to date. And I was like, oh my gosh. Like, I wanted to be like, I'm not desperate to date anybody. I wanted to like say all these things. And I was like, instead of viewing it like that, instead of viewing it as like this is her being pushy, or this is her seeing you as like lonely and desperate, you could just see this as this is her loving you. You're someone she loves, and this is her trying to show you that love. You can accept it as such, as what it is, or you can twist it into this hate or this attack against you. And so I hope that what I'm just said just now helps you to like continuously like shift your perspective and your thoughts that to the point where they celebrate you and they cherish you and they love you. There's this little bug here that's like, I feel like it's telling me to wrap it up. Who the fuck is Sarah? Why do I keep hearing that name? Who is that? Hold on, let me get something to drink. Who the fuck is Sarah? Sarah? It reminds me of that song with Ariana Grande and Victoria Monet, where she's like, where you been, Cletus? And Ariana Grande's like, who the fuck is Cletus? I don't know if I'm saying that the right way, but all right, anything else? So I just heard Lyran's, what's his name? Corey something, forget his last name, Corey Brandon, I think. He shared like this video from this lady who was like giving a channel message about Lyran's. It made no sense to me. This is no offense to the lady, but I don't think the message was for me. But I saw like the face of it, and the face of the Lyran in the video looked, or the picture looked just like my cat. And it reminded me of when I was in high school, one of my most magical friends, she was so divinely placed in my life, because our last names are like very close to each other in the alphabetical order. So throughout all my years in school here, we always sat together for any tests and stuff. And then of course, ultimately at graduation, we sat right next to each other. And she introduced me to like so many like books that were like fantasy, but it had to do with like all the stuff that I know is real now. And I remember we had advanced placement art 4 together, and she came up to me one day and like took my picture, I think, for one of her paintings, and she gave it to me like a week later or something. She showed me the result, and she had like drawn my face from like the profile view, so like this, as a lion. And it's one of my favorite pictures. I have it still saved in my favorites on my phone. I think I'll share that as well, with the picture of the fawns. I don't think that's the name of them. I don't think they're called fawns. The baby deer. But yeah, the Lyrans are very important. I feel like the message here is kind of the message that Corey was talking about in that post. He was like, this is the message that the Lyrans wanted to tell me, but because I was like not in fear, but like kind of didn't want to listen, I never got to hear the message. And so I feel like that's the message here now. Like, what are you denying? What's something that you know has been like trying to get your attention, but you haven't been like giving your attention out of fear that it's gonna hurt you? And I feel like this is something that was explored with me today. I think sometimes I have like this fear that I'm like, I can't do the things that I used to do, or like I won't have access to certain things that I used to easily have access to, or I'm not doing enough, I'm not good enough anymore, things like that. And so like you avoid like even trying to do it out of fear that you can't do something. And so like, what is that? Like, what is that thing that you're avoiding that you know is knocking on your door? Face that and like listen to the message, because I feel like you think it's gonna take something away, or it's gonna reveal something about you that's like lacking, but that's impossible, right? Because you're infinite. But it's gonna give you something instead. It's gonna give you more. Something else that I'm feeling called to mention is something that Ramona Lappin used to say, but she never explained, and I feel like I just now got it like a couple of days ago. But she always used to be like, fuck being immortal, like we're eternal. And I used to be like, what? Like, why is she being so extra? Why is she making this like huge distinction between immortality and eternity, or being eternal? And I thought about it. I was like, well, my point of reference for anything immortal would probably be the vampires from Twilight, and how like Edward and I guess now Bella is immortal, right? But they can be killed. Like, I feel like immortal is like something like that just kind of stays the way it is, like forever and ever. But if there's an equal and opposite force, like it can be like ended. Like the vampires can be killed if somebody kills them, right? But something eternal cannot be killed. Like it can't. There's nothing that could ever kill it. Because if you, I guess what I'm hearing now, if you think about it in terms of like matching that equal and opposite, like there's no one ever that's exactly like you. And so there's no one ever that could match that exact, like, I don't know, state of you in order to destroy you. I don't know why I'm thinking this, but I'm sure it'll be important. Whenever I watch these back, I'm like, oh shit, like that's, how does she know that? About my, like, I see myself talking, I'm like, how do you know that this is happening in my life? Why did you say that? It's a bit airy sometimes. But yeah, we're eternal. Like, fuck immortality, we're eternal. Nothing can ever stop us or disrupt us. If it ever appears to be so, it's an illusion that you've consented to. Thank you for the hearts. Okay, so I just heard some more clicking. So I'm gonna share this, hopefully last thing. They've been telling me this the whole time, but I haven't been like wanting to say it because I'm like, I don't want to say this, but they've been telling me to say like how beautiful I am. Like I'm very beautiful. I think throughout today, because I've been feeling like low, I'll like see myself in the mirror or something when I go to the restroom, or like passing by a glass, and I'm like, oh my god, like I look cute. I didn't know that. But I feel like the reason they want me to say this is like because like other people were seeing me in this like very impactful way, and I wasn't seeing myself in that way. Like I'm hearing like a part of like having like integrity over like your gifts or your energy, your power, your talents, you know, all those words, is like knowing who you are. Like this is why it's important to like know who you are, like know how powerful you are, because like I be forgetting like how, not just how I look, it's also like my energy. And so like it's very strong, it's very potent. It's very strong, it's very potent. And so I think I'm like just like going by like unnoticed, but like I'm actually drawing a lot of attention. Like a lot of people are like they're becoming aware of me as I go through Target. And I feel like they're saying like this is why like it's important to like really be like aware of yourself. And like it's not about like being hard on yourself or like working constantly, but like there's trying to emphasize the importance, like I was saying in my other video the other day about Toth, T-O-T-H. Oh, I just felt something so like when I said that name. But but yes, about like being very careful what you think. Like you need to be very aware of like your power, your thoughts, because like it's literally like it's so powerful. And that's one of the reasons today like I had to like really shift my energy, because I knew it was like me being in that heavy state was like creating like that reality. Like I was doing all these errands, but I was doing it in like this like heavy state with like these like kind of like dazed out thoughts. And I went somewhere and like the toilet wouldn't flush, and then I went somewhere else and like to get air in my tires, and like they did it wrong, like so the light was still on, excuse me. Then I had to go somewhere else, and they were like, oh, there's this tire, there's something wrong with it. Like I was like, shit, like I keep like I'm making these like little things happen like with my thoughts. So I was like, okay, plan B. Like I was like, I gotta like shift my thoughts. So I like changed the music I was listening to, because not listening to music wasn't helping either. And I put it on like this high vibrational music. I played Lizzo to like change my thoughts. And then I read that very like positive book. But this is something I also want you to know, like you're very beautiful. And I kept hearing earlier when they wanted me to talk about this, is like, you look like this for a reason. Like you chose to look like this for a reason. Like you look like this for a reason. You draw attention. You're beautiful for a reason. Like you're attractive for a reason. Like, what's it called? Like the heavy is the head that wears the crown. Like you have a lot of responsibility. And again, this is not like me saying like to be harder on yourself than you already are, but it is to like make you aware of like the importance of like spiritual, mental, bodily hygiene. Because like you're not just like, you're not small. You're not playing in like the minor leagues. Like you're playing in the big leagues. Every single day, every place you go is like you're making a huge impact. So like be responsible and like, what's it called? Be powerful responsibly. Yeah, I'm gonna share like this video. I didn't want to share it because I was like, oh, like I'm gonna like seem like, I don't know. I don't know. I was like, I always get like worried because I said in the past, like people have called me arrogant, people whose opinions I cared about a lot at the time. It was like a lot of it, like this attack on me. And so sometimes I'm like, I think too hard about like the things that I share. But you know, I'm growing and I'm getting out of that now. So I think I will share it because they're saying like it's important. I knew when I started like my channel back when I just went by Queen Sensitivity that like I wanted to show my face. And I always like hated the internet when I was younger. I never had like social media when all my friends had social media. I hated like the idea of like being filmed and like online and shit. I remember like I was getting ready for prom and my grandma like was recording me and I was like, don't post it on Facebook. Like, don't put me on there. I don't want to be seen. Like, I don't know. I was just like very, very private. But I knew when I started this channel that I needed to show my face. I think I'm hearing now like a part of the reason why is because like how I look in itself is like activating. Like it's snapping memories, synaptics, neurons together in the brain to like spark remembrance within people. And so I'm sharing everything I'm saying about myself is like a message for you. I'm gonna end this now. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your port. Your port? Thank you so much for your support. I'm just a girl from little old Alabama. Country girl, Alabama. I don't know why I'm feeling called to say that, but I am. I think about that a lot. I was just this little kid in Alabama trying to look for some red dirt. And here I am now. So, I don't know. I don't know why I felt called to say that, but I'm saying it. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for your kindness. I hope this helped. It will help me. I'm gonna watch this back as I always do. Be kind to yourself. And as I've been telling my friends lately, do something you fucking love. Do something you fucking love. Like, do something you love. Like, just fucking do something you love. Like, do it. I remember when I was younger, I wanted so badly to have like access to all music. And now I do. So when I get off of this little live, I'm about to blast some fucking music. Like, turn that shit up. Just like listen to it real loud. My favorite songs. Do something you love, even if it's doing yourself. All right, I'm gonna go. All right, bye. Thank you. Love you. And